Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you this evening. The big story yesterday, which we spoke about, we debated this in very great detail yesterday, was Agni 5, the launch of the intercontinental ballistic missile successfully under China's nervous watch, which has the incredible MIRV technology, the ability to shoot multiple warheads at the same time. Now today, the most visual story of the day, we've been talking about it on the channel since this morning, has been Bharat Shakti. Bharat Shakti is a tri-services integrated exercise which the Prime Minister witnessed today on the borders near Jaisalmer, specifically near Pokhran. It was incredible, viewers. If you consider the technology on display, from robotic mules to the LCA to the mobile anti-drone systems, the Nag missile, and of course the Pinaka. The thrust in the entire Bharat Shakti exercise was on indigenization. Viewers, I'm using the opportunity of Bharat Shakti and not just taking off from where the Prime Minister said, by having my first debate on a subject which I think is critical when you go to exercise your franchise every year. As you go to vote, ask yourself, do you want the next government in India to give you a more secure country, a country that rivals, equals, and goes beyond the security needed for ensuring its borders? Do you want our defense preparedness to be extremely strong? Do you want us to have a strong counterweight to any challenge that China may bring to us, not just to us, but to our future generations? Ask yourself this question and come to a conclusion. Just by way of starting the debate, and I want to go to some full-frame pictures of Bharat Shakti, I want to begin by making a few fundamental points, which I hope that all of us watching the program will think about tonight. Viewers, I will bring this down to one basic and very elementary question. We are very clear today that we are not in a race to edge out Pakistan. That was the case more than 15 years back. Today, we are legitimately engaged in an edge to balance and edge out China. People tell me, why am I so bullish about the Narendra Modi government's defense policy? It is for this fundamental reason. Because I believe Modi's policy has been to watch China, equal China, rival China, and eventually to outstrip China. Viewers, people ask me if I have a problem with the defense situation in previous governments. I have nothing personal with any previous government. But I will not forget, and neither should you, and I want to speak to you looking at the camera on this. I must request all of you to never forget the lovey-dovey approach. The lovey-dovey approach that the Congis had vis-a-vis the Chinese. I want you to never forget that after one of the most dangerous incursions in Depsang, 2013, ladies and gentlemen. Most shamefully, a man called Salman Khurshid. Mr. Khurshid, I'm ashamed of the position you took. You went, Mr. Khurshid, as an emissary of the Sonia Gandhi government to China. And instead of taking up the issue of the dangerous incursion by the Chinese, you said you love the Chinese. You shamelessly said that you would love to be living in Beijing. You further shamelessly said, Mr. Khurshid, on behalf of the Sonia Gandhi NAC-run Manmohan Singh government, that you refused to get into any quarrel with the Chinese, that you did not get into anything, and I have the quotation here before me. You said, I am not looking at doing a post-mortem of what happened in Depsang with the Chinese. You said, I will not apportion any blame on them. Why, Mr. Khurshid, and why did the Congress consider the Chinese beyond question, beyond blame? These are fundamental questions. Ladies and gentlemen, as you watch those pictures of India flexing its military might, remember how much things have changed in a decade. I'm not saying that you have to be a BJP supporter to remember, but you must look at these pictures and remember that there was once a man called A.K. Antony who stood in the floor of the Indian Parliament and said, on the 6th of September 2013 to be precise, and he said that, ladies and gentlemen, he said, it is the policy of our country to have undeveloped borders. I'd like to speak to you on this, viewers. Can you believe it, viewers? You watch these pictures today. And I want to speak directly looking at the camera to the younger audiences watching this program. If any of you who are watching the program are below the age of, say, 25 or around 25, then I presume that you would have been in secondary school when what I'm speaking about actually happened. So when you were in secondary school, dear youngsters, there was a man who unfortunately was Defense Minister of India, A.K. Antony, who stood up on the floor of the Parliament of India and who said that India has better infrastructure because Congress governments have decided to not develop the borders of the country. What can be more dangerous than that? These have been the admissions of the past. And therefore, it is very necessary that when you go to vote, whether you are young or not so young, you need to think of defense preparedness as the first subject, which is why I'm deliberately using Agni 5 and, of course, the Bharat Shakti display of strength today, and whatever may happen over the next few months as a startup debate on whether defense preparedness, the status of our geostrategic deterrence, the strength of our military might should be something to configure our votes on. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you with two fundamental debates tonight. My first debate is on defense, and I look forward to having a very solid debate on that. Very often we get involved in only political issues. This is the time to discuss defense. I think defense matters to all. My second debate on this very important evening is on the CAA. And I'm sick and tired of the kind of lies that the Al Jazeera has been putting out. The Al Jazeera should first talk about whether Qatar, the country that funds it, who feed it, and who give them money, whether Qatar allows citizenship for everybody, and whether Indians working in Qatar are even eligible for citizenship there. If not, they should be quiet about it. My counter to Al Jazeera is at 10 o'clock. And here are the headlines this Tuesday evening on the Debate Tonight.